Spin Room. We are at Lynn University, and I'm joined by Romney surrogate. He's also known as Florida Senator Marco Rubio. Senator, good to see you. How are you?
Thanks for having me back.
You know, it was very interesting. As the debate went on tonight, a couple of things started. It was obvious to me that Governor Romney went into this debate not wanting to go tit for tat with the president. The president came off at times a little petulant, a little angry. I felt, and I'm like, I don't know if that really sells well in the end with the American people. Good strategy?
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely right. I mean, Governor Romney came here tonight and showed people that he's ready to be president. He appeared presidential, and the president appeared small. There were a couple times that there was a question about Iran's nuclear program, and the president responded with a petty answer about how the governor had some sort of investment in a Chinese company that did business with Iran. What does that have to do with the nuclear program in Iran?
Yeah.
It is a big question about a major important issue that's existential to one of our closest allies in Israel. And the president answers with that. He appeared petty. He did not look presidential tonight, Romney did.
There was a lot that I felt that Governor Romney could have been brought up if he wanted to go. He did bring up the apology tour. You know, he did say that America was guilty of torture when he went to Cairo. So the Governor Romney did bring up some of these things, but this is also a president that said when he was running last time, Iran, Cuba, Venezuela, those countries are tiny. They're not a threat. So he flip-flopped.
But you know what Governor Romney did tonight? When he pointed those things out, he did so within the context of what this campaign is about. For example, he talked about our leverage on Iran and the ability to get Iran to respond to a negotiation. And he pointed out all the actions the president took that sent the signal to the Ayatollahs in Iran that they didn't have to worry about Barack Obama, whether it was skipping Israel in his travels to the Middle East, whether it was the comments that he made in his speeches, whether it was his unwillingness to say anything about the protests and the Green Revolution in the early days of his presidency when folks took to the streets to protest the stolen elections in Iran. He correctly pointed out that all of those things were clear signals to the Ayatollahs that Barack Obama wasn't serious and was not to be worried about.
Well, if there's one surprise in my mind from tonight is the issue of how do we define a war on terror? I mean, this is a president that banned the use of the term man-caused disaster, overseas contingency operations. Fort Hood is an example of workplace violence, and through the context of the cover-up in Benghazi. I'm surprised, just from a general debate standpoint, and I did think Bob Schieffer did a good job, that should have been a bigger focus in the debate.
Well, and I think unfortunately it wasn't, because that's one of the key issues that we face in our national security. But I can tell you Governor Romney's been pretty clear about his position on the war on terror. First of all, it is a war on terror. You look at what's happening now where Al-Qaeda is reconstituting itself in North Africa, and he talked about that tonight. In many countries, there are now 10 to 12 countries around the world where there wasn't fundamental Islamist terrorist groups in the past. They're now there. They've now reformed themselves in those countries. I think that's a part of a failed foreign policy. Governor Romney clearly showed that he understands the threat, understands where the threat is, and has ideas about how to deal with it.
You know, it was very interesting, too, because Governor Romney did challenge the president on this idea that America has helped the Muslim world. When President Obama went on his apology tour, he didn't point out that America has sacrificed in the Muslim world in places like Kuwait, Iraq, Afghanistan, Indonesia, Kosovo, just to name a few. But he did say that America was guilty of torture and that America had abandoned its values.
And that America dictated to people terms.
And that was brought up tonight as well.
That's right. You know, the president had this theory that you find a lot of times in the left and in academia, that the reason why the Middle East, that some folks in the Middle East hate us, because they didn't like George Bush, or they just don't like because America's rude, or America's mean to them. That's why they don't like us. It's absurd. The reason why fundamentalist Islamists don't like America is because they have a view of the world that they want to impose on as many people as possible, and America standing in their way. That's why they hate us.
You know, it's when the president, during the course of his presidency, once said that we don't have the right to inflict our values or insert our values on other countries. And when I hear that, I think, if America doesn't lead, who does?
That's right.
You know?
That's absolutely right. I mean, a world without American leadership creates a vacuum that will be filled by really bad actors. The truth is America can't solve all the problems in the world. And increasingly the global issues have to be solved by a collection of countries that confront them. But those coalitions have to be put together and they have to be led. And only America can do so. And if you look at the principles America has fought for, they're actually principles that all people want. Freedom, liberty, respect for human rights, respect for women, respect for all life. These are American principles, but these are also principles of all humanity.
When the president, during the course of his presidency, said that Iran does have the right to nuclear power, that he would negotiate without preconditions. Why shouldn't the conditions for negotiating with Iran be, you've got to stop denying the Holocaust, you've got to abandon your nuclear weapons program, you've got to grant civil rights and liberties to your citizenry?
Well, I think it's impossible to negotiate with Iran on lenient terms for the following reason. The leadership of that government has very clearly said that they want to wipe Israel off of the face of the earth. That's what they have said.
They need to stop saying it before we negotiate.
Not only that, they are a state sponsor of terrorism. So a country that's a state sponsor of terrorism and wants to wipe another country off the face of the earth can never have a nuclear capability. Yeah. Because they're going to use that nuclear capability to arm terrorists and to wipe out Israel. How could we possibly negotiate any sort of nuclear arrangement with them? The only arrangement is they don't have any nuclear capacity.
At the end of the day, I saw a governor tonight that showed himself to be knowledgeable, presidential, above the pettiness of a president that was trying to score cheap political points.
That's exactly right.
I don't think that strategy will work for the president.
I think
he seemed desperate tonight.
Tonight was a night to appear presidential. Yeah. President Obama did not. Only Mitt Romney on that stage tonight looked, spoke, and acted like a president. It's going to pay huge dividends.
All right, Senator, always good to see you. Thank you for being with us.